predictions, as well as other NFL news, including possible changes to the catch rule. NBA news, including the winners and losers of the Blake Griffin trade, the NBA injury bug running wild, and the return of the XFL, and more, starting now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome to another fine edition of Debate Amongst Friends, live on YouTube and on Twitch. I am your host, the Professor John Gotti, and we decided to welcome you to the 90th edition of the Sports Podcast. We are towards the end of January 2018, and we're so happy you decided to join us on this Tuesday. I know we usually do it on Wednesdays. We had a staff meeting today. We decided to do it on Tuesday because Wednesday we got some other things for us to do, but we're still going to give you our reads, our predictions, and our views for you, the people. And always by my side, the Cassius Ono to my Sonny Ono, the surveyor of the B-dorms himself, Doc Ocean. How you doing, sir?
The Woken Doc Ocean.
I'm not letting you have the Vulcan. Nope. Sorry. Because the Vulcan gimmick sucks now.
It does. It does.
So I'm not gonna say that you stink, because that's an untrue fact.
And I can appreciate that. Yes, everything is doing good though. I can't complain. Just taking it one time, just like you would take one day at a time.
I see what you did there. I like that.
We got some interesting things to discuss, some interesting moves made by several teams. Definitely ready, sir.
Well, if you're ready, and I'm ready, and the people are ready, the millions and millions of the Doc fans, and the tens and tens of Gotti's fans, let's get ourselves straight to it. We are in Super Bowl week. We had a whole week to think about it. It is now time for us to give our predictions.
And I still have no idea. Like, to this very moment, up to the show, thinking about it all day, I have no clue who's going to win this game.
You know, I had a chance to listen to many people offer their takes on who they feel will win, their reasons why, whether it was through sports memes, whether it's sports memes, politics, personal grudges against both individuals and cities. But a lot of people are hoping that Eagles fly.
It would be great, of course. I think a lot of people just don't want the Patriots to win, of course. I mean, I don't even think it's the Patriots. I think it's just Tom Brady.
It might just be Tom Brady.
And Bill Belichick, of course, but
yeah,
mostly Tom Brady. What do you think? I don't know if you had a chance to read it or hear about it, but ESPN had showed the Madden EA Sports Super Bowl prediction.
Nah, I can't trust Madden.
It was pretty early too. Usually they do it the day of, and usually I used to do it the day of. But they have the Patriots beating the Eagles 24-20.
You were about to say Steelers.
I don't know if I was going to say Steelers. I think I should have been saying Vikings, or I should have been saying Jaguars and Eagles, but you know that goes neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But the Super Bowl winners, based on Madden, 24-20 to the Patriots. Obviously, can't
teach that.
Rely on that. Yeah, definitely can't teach that, but can't rely on Madden. I mean, ultimately, I want the Eagles to win, but it's hard to go against the Patriots and what they've been able to do.
Yes.
They really had to overcome these last couple of games, to get there. So I don't think that the train is going to stop now.
So that's your pick? It's going to be the Pats?
Yeah, Tommy Brady.
Thomas Brady for ring number 6?
For the GOAT.
Well, I mean, we kind of made that conclusion at the end of last Super Bowl that he's the greatest of all time. Like, it's hard for us to distinguish that. But I think this game will put the final nail in the coffin, so to speak.
Yeah, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.
Oh my gosh, you put the whole government out there?
He's going to go down as the GOAT because he's...
Bah.
Duh. I think he just overcame all the odds. I mean, he told him he was going to be great, and he became great.
But I'll have to agree with you. I mean, I really want to see the Eagles win, but at the same time, and I mentioned this to the gentleman who does my dry cleaning. Had a long conversation with him about that and some other things as well too. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to confirm a theory that he had, so he's still getting a shout out. It's gonna come down to the other elements beyond offense. Which defense is gonna come play? Which special team is gonna have a bigger impact? Which side? What a tangible is going to really take place. How are the referees going to call this game, especially in the fourth quarter? Because as we all know, there's been many conspiracies and crackpot theories of shenanigans or fixings a la Tim Donaghy in the NFL still.
Well, I think also that, I've seen the videos of Tom Brady, having the play clock raised and things like that. I've seen several different things, but I think it comes down to the Eagles' pass rush. I mean, I think the last 2 games, both pass rushes began to die out. It's really going to come because, I mean, they're going to have to almost pitch a shutout, which is practically almost impossible.
I mean,
against
we're still
this
talking
offense.
about from a team that only had one penalty in the AFC Championship game.
They're going to have to force some penalties out there. This game, the Eagles are going to have to play the game of their life. Like, if they want to win the Super Bowl, they're going to have to play the game of their life. Doug Peterson's going to have to coach the game of his life, and everybody's going to have to play up to the level of what it took for them to get there.
Yes.
The Falcons played a great first half last year, but crumbled.
They crumbled bad.
And the Eagles can't do that because they can't rely on Nick Foles. Similar to how Blake Bortles beat the Steelers. But the Eagles can't rely on Nick Foles to put up 40, 50, 60 points to beat the Patriots. So they're going to have to really come strong if they want to win the Super Bowl.
I will agree with you. And that's why I'm, going to follow your lead and also pick the Patriots for the very same reasons. Like, there's so much to depend on. You want the quarterback to not be Blake Bortles, who is apparently not done in Jacksonville, according to rumors.
Which I don't blame them for sticking with him. I don't blame him. But he's no Tom Brady.
He is no Tom Brady.
I mean, they could try to emulate that, but that system that they have in New England is a great system. And like most systems, if everybody buys into it and does their job, then most likely it's going to work. When they don't do their job, they do a great job getting rid of people.
Yes.
And that shows success. The Yankees did it for a while. The Spurs did it. And the New England Patriots do it. Duke, UNC, Kentucky, all these big teams that won championships, they do that. They just bring people in who play in that system and can play in that system. Mm-hmm. And if they can't, they ask them to be selfless and adjust. So in that situation, that's what it takes to be to do it the Patriot way. You have to be willing to adjust. And Tom Brady over his years, talking about playing into 45, he's been able to adjust.
I will agree with that. I guess you could say the evolution or evolution, which is a mystery, of the Patriots offense. I mean, it was pretty run heavy dependent for a while. And now it's way more, involved of short passing routes, utilizing great pass catching running backs to come out of the backfield. And just utilizing Gronkowski, who is currently now going to be questionable, and that's going to lead to the follow-up question that I have. But to utilize every single one of their elements rather than just having star players.
But isn't Gronkowski always questionable? I think he lives questionable.
He lives questionable. I love it.
I don't think he's ever really. He wasn't in the last Super Bowl either. I don't think it's going to be a point where they might just decide to move on from him because it's almost a waste.
I can agree with that, but at the same time, he is such a big body for their offense to work. And granted, he's not there now in the big game.
Right. They came back without him.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Well, that and, other things as well.
Sure. Other things.
I mean, the Jags offense didn't do anything in the second half. Let's just be honest.
It's true. I mean, but, the offense would... I think if Gronk was still out there, it might have hurt the Patriots offense, and maybe they don't come back and win the game. Out there.
I can agree with that.
That would have been rough.
I can definitely agree with that. But that leads to my follow-up question then. And you mentioned it about him, possibly being gone. Is Gronkowski overrated?
No, I don't think he's overrated. I think he falls in line with great players who just can't stay healthy. Obviously we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but, he falls in line with a Blake Griffin. Mm-hmm. Very talented player, but might not be able to stay on the field or court.
Yes.
I think that's why they drafted him and Aaron Hernandez, back to back, because they're both talented tight ends, and it allows them to work a system. But I don't think Gronkowski's overrated. I just think he might need to change his living style. Maybe partying too hard. Like a rock star.
Party like a rock. Well, I can agree with that, but at the same time, I mean, it's not anything that's detrimental to the team, and a lot of his injuries are more happening on the field instead of away from the field.
How do we know that? Because they told us?
I mean, obviously, it's the internet. We have to believe everything they say, right?
I mean, he was in the wrestling ring. He could have easily, pulled something just getting into the ring that time.
Going face to face with your boy.
He was too hype, bro.
Oh, goodness. It was just too much hype in front of the modern-day Maharaja.
Exactly. But, yeah, I just think it, is his living style and the way he, carries himself. I mean, maybe he's just too big to play his position. That's possible.
It is possible. I mean, nothing is, going away from that being a high possibility now.
Absolutely.
But so our picks are the Eagles. I mean, let's play devil's advocate real quick.
We picked the Patriots.
The Patriots, I mean. But let's play devil's advocate. What do Philadelphia has to do to get a Lombardi trophy in their hands and to allow the people to riot in the streets for a good reason?
Break out the Crisco.
I see what you did there.
The Eagles would have to sack Tom Brady a minimum of 6 times. I would say quarterback pressures would have to be 15 to 20 times. They would have to get to Tom Brady and hit him at least 10 times So 15 pressures, 10 hits, at least 6 sacks,
Okay.
and they have to create turnovers. If they can create maybe 2 turnovers on Tom Brady, they got a good chance to win the game. But if they don't touch him and he stays clean and he can basically, hang his jersey up this in the Super Bowl, hang it up, the equipment manager leaves it there all off season, and then he can wear that same jersey on opening day next year, they're gonna lose.
I will completely agree with that. I will also say the offensive coordinator needs to expose the Patriots defense.
Well, see, that's where it gets kind of weird, and I think that's where the coaching is going to have to be strong on the Patriots and on the Eagles. I think the Patriots do a great job of adjusting, and I think that's where the other teams lack,
Yes.
that experience. I think they get scared to adjust. That's the way it comes across. Jacksonville looked scared to adjust, so they kept running the ball on first down, pass, or it was run, pass, and they just kept going 3 and out. But you can't be scared to change up your philosophy or your play calling, and I feel as though that's what these teams fail to do against New England. They fail to adapt to what. And that's how they win.
Yes. I'll agree with that. Uh, so that being said, who is your early running potential MVP of the Super Bowl?
It's going to be somebody. It's going to be somebody stupid like James White or Hogan. It's not going to be anybody. It's probably not going to be Tom Brady unless he throws all over the Eagles. But it'll probably be one person that scores all the touchdowns. I'm thinking more of a James White because he's come up pretty big the last couple of games.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Brandon Cooks has been very quiet all year, so I wouldn't be surprised if he goes off.
Well, he caught some pretty clutch passes these playoffs.
I'm talking about going off.
Yeah.
Like off.
Like absolutely, positively insane kind of stats.
Right. Right. So that's the only thing I can think of. Those three people: James White, Hogan, or a Brandon Cooks. I can't see anybody else. I know the other receivers might come up. Might be somebody that never plays to come up and make a big catch or two. So I just don't know if it'll be. But if it's the Eagles, it's going to be Ajayi.
Yes.
Yeah, Ajayi could beat them. I doubt LeGarrette Blount gets going too much, but Ajayi might beat them. The speed of Ajayi.
I think if they try to run it with Blount the entire game, that might be, pinnacle reason for them to lose because the Patriots are looking for that.
Absolutely.
So I can definitely agree with that.
Absolutely.
Well, we talked about that. Let's move on. Let's talk about the potential new changes to the catch rule.
So, the catch rule is so. How do I want to put this? It's so stupid. They're just not getting it right. It's just not right. I know Roger Goodell is concerned about it. He wants to revisit it, but it's like the process of making a catch, the officials looking at the catch, the time it takes to replay, it's just too much sometimes. It's like it's not a catch, it is a catch, and it's costing teams game. It's really ruining the game, and I hope that they get it right.
Well, and Roger Goodell, was asked, is he a little concerned about the current catch rule? And he stated, "I'm not just a little concerned. I'm very concerned." I mean, do you feel like that holds any weight? I mean, personally, I don't think that holds any weight because I feel like if that was an issue 3 years ago, he should have fixed it already. But that's just my opinion.
Well, it's hard to fix when there's so many different opinions on what a catch is, even though it really shouldn't be. I mean, before it was so simple. I think when you look back, I think of some of the catches that, happened previously that were ruled incomplete in the past, 10, 15 years that cost people games, like my Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Bertie Manuel in the Redskins playoff game, years and years ago, where that was definitely a catch, but it was ruled a no catch. Sure. But these catches now, I mean, if it moves and it hits the ground can't help a player catch it. It's getting kind of out of hand. There's too many components to the catch now.
Yes.
Where it's like before it was like 2 feet in, one elbow in, one butt cheek in, whatever the case may be. It was a catch as long as they had their hands on it. But now it's like, oh, I think if it hits the ground, maybe they should just say it's incomplete. Period. Move, that's where it gets kind of weird because it's like if it moves a little bit, but they held control, it's a catch. It's just too many components to that. Maybe if it hits the ground any kind of way, like if it rubs the ground, maybe it should just not be a catch.
No, I could agree with that. I mean, I think the bigger issues with the catch of the catch rule right now is when it affects more. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have to cut the show early today. I can't do it today.